Hello, my name is David Formhals, and I'm announcing my candidacy for presidency of the United States. The reason that I'm running is I see an injustice in the way we're getting paid. The way that I sort of figure it is like if you go to the bank and get a loan, you have the money in your pocket until you pay the loan off. And then you no longer have the money in your pocket, but you have the interest. If you like work on a job, like a construction worker building houses, the person that borrows the money, if they borrow money for the house, the money's in circulation until they pay the house off. If you build the house, you have the money until they pay the house off, then you no longer have the money. If you go somewhere and buy something, even though you spent the money, that money isn't spent because when they pay the house off, that money can't be there because they paid the house off. So the way the government does things, it won't work. I'd like to change things. Okay, before World War I and World War II, we had a depression. I'm told I wasn't alive then, but I heard nobody was working, and then all of a sudden Germany went to war, and they forced us into spending more money. Our government wouldn't have done it any otherwise. We were forced to go into spending money. Nobody was working, and then all of a sudden everybody's working. I was told this money came from absolutely nowhere. But because the money came from nowhere, I don't see why we had to put it back. If money comes from nowhere, why would you want to give it back to nobody? If you get money from nobody, why would you want to give it back to nobody? Okay, in a fight, you defend yourself. And, when you get in a fight, you do anything to defend yourself. Germany forced us into a fight, and they forced us to defend ourselves. We defended ourselves by more or less getting money from nowhere to put people to work, to build war equipment for Germany, to fight Germany, and we sent equipment over to England and put a lot of people in America to work. Now, after the war, we paid this supposed loan off, and then Americans didn't have any money, and then we had this interest. What little money America had went to pay the interest. I'd like to start a peace department. We have a war department. I'd like to start a peace department where we get money from nowhere and put people to work building stuff in America with a peace department. Okay, like the year 2015, I like to figure like the year 1050 and have a wage for the year 1250. Okay, let's say $100 an hour is where I like to start minimum wage. Either 60-40, where if you worked at like a minimum wage, $60 an hour, like $100 an hour, 60% of $100 an hour. If like McDonald's, just say for a general rule, like a McDonald's or any fast food industry, 40% of $100 an hour is what the general place like McDonald's would earn per employee. 40% of $100 an hour is what McDonald's or other places would earn per employee, or other places. Okay, like a secretary or other people is $200 an hour, 60-40, or a person working in a bank, $200 an hour, 60-40. Truck drivers, construction workers, carpenters, $300 an hour. Caterpillar just laid off a lot of people. Detroit just laid off a lot of people. The federal government, in times of war, pays soldiers their wages to hurt people. Okay, in times of peace, the federal government will pay people to do good things. If you can pay people in times of war to do bad things, you can pay people in times of peace to do good things. Okay, now, to be a write-in, I need things from every courthouse in every county in Illinois, every courthouse in every county in every state, sent to me in an envelope with a self-addressed envelope to David Formhals, Formhals 1100 West Locust, Canton, Illinois 61520. I need 2 of them from each county in Illinois. I think there's 102 counties or 120 counties in Illinois, and each state in the union, each county, you got to call your courthouse and see if anybody's got it from your county in each state, each courthouse, and mail me in a letter with another envelope in there with a self-address. I don't have any money to do this. To me, where I got to fill it out by November and mail it back to that courthouse in that county, and then one to Georgia to get this done by November. And then I got to put an ad in the paper in each state in a major city with the thing from that state to the courthouse in Georgia. And also, it's like the lower wages, like a teacher, maybe $400 an hour, 60-40. You're sitting behind the desk as a police officer, maybe $400. $500 for a police officer driving a car. $600 for a nurse. $700 for doctors, 60-40. If you contribute to St. Jude and you want, you may want to buy, doctor get $700. But if you're laid off and looking for a job, you may want to vote for me because the federal government pays wages in war. This money comes from nowhere. It wouldn't be paid back. The way they're doing it now, when you pay the wages back, you don't have money. If you pay a loan back, the money's no longer in circulation. When the money's no longer in circulation, it's not there, and then you have the interest, and then you have taxes on what you had. So you're really not getting paid the way they're doing it. It's an injustice, and I want to right it, correct it. I have an idea on clean energy. It's under Clean Energy David Formhals in YouTube. You can look it up. It's not done very good. I don't do justice to the idea. It's a very poorly drawn. You can look it up. That's like they have that car factory, auto plant in Bloomington Normal. The federal government will make interest-free loans if you want to buy a farm, or if somebody wanted to retool the auto plant, they could go in there and build cars specially designed for police officers or anything else. The federal government would make a loan. You'd have to pay the loan off before whatever you did wore out. A farm wouldn't wear out, but like farm limits, you'd have to pay them off before they wore out. Interest-free loans. But anything you can think of, I'll probably do, because I'm trying to correct injustice that the government has done so far. And the money will come from nowhere. I won't be a penny pincher. I'm not going to pay this money back. Okay, the money will be on a card. That's like if you work at McDonald's, the money will be downloaded on a card, and then you get a card at work and spend the money off a card. If you're a student, $100 an hour, 60-40 to go to college. When you go through the door to college, you have a cell phone or something in your pocket, and it'll indicate you went through the door, and there'll be a camera there recording the teacher, and you'll be able to go to your classroom and watch the thing. There'll be a 20-year retro to pay on your loan, the 40% of why you're in college. If you go there long enough and graduate, all your old student loans, or even if you did graduate, and have your degree, there'll be a retro on your student loans. If you did graduate college and have your degree, there'll be, for every hour you're in school, there will be 40 years of 40%, 60-40, $100 an hour. The money won't go in your pocket. The 60% won't go in your pocket, but there'll be retro 40, 60, 40 on your student loan.